Ladies and gentlemen, the politics of the Mount Kenya region seems to be boiling nicely, as I always say. As Gachagua seems to be uniting and taking a stand to unite the Mount Kenya region behind him, as he has currently laid forward his bid for the presidency come the year 2027, and also his move to popularize his Democracy for Citizens Party, DCP party in the region, seems to be taking root in the hands of the Mount Kenya people, and his call for unity. Regarding Gachagua's call for unity in the Mount Kenya region, to unite every political bigwing or every political leader in the Mount Kenya region to come together for a major goal, and this goal is to topple the government of one President William Ruto. Something else is happening in the Mount Kenya region. A storm is currently brewing in the Mount Kenya region. A new party is coming in play to destabilize Gachagua's DCP party within the Mount Kenya region. According to the news that we are receiving and according to data from the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, today we are being informed that the Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndidi Nyoro, the Githunguri MP GATHONI WAMUCHOMVA, and and the Murang'a Governor Irungu Kang'ata have finally come. They have finally formed a new party, which is said to be launched before the end of this year. As I have severally said in the past, this is a card that President William Ruto and his allies have been counting on since the said party is set to unveil a new presidential candidate in the Mount Kenya region. Now, allow me to remind you that the name that I have mentioned here, the name of Kiharu MP Ndidi Nyoro, the name of Githunguri MP GATHONI WAMUCHOMVA, and the name of the governor of Murang'a County Irungu Kang'ata, they seem to have an allegiance between the three of them. And these are big wings in the politics of the Mount Kenya region. Severally, we had rumors of how they are playing the cards of dividing the Mount Kenya region votes, but we never had the clear strategy of how they are going to play it out. But now, it seems things are unfolding nicely. Because if I remember, you all remember during the launch of Rigathi Gachagua's party, the DCP party, one GATHONI WAMUCHOMVA, that is the time that he saw fit to abandon Rigathi Gachagua and dump Rigathi Gachagua's side. That time, she went and held a meeting with Fred Matiang'i, a meeting that saw the birth of our allegiance to Fred Matiang'i. The same thing, Rigathi Gachagua has been calling upon Ndidi Nyoro and Governor Irungu Kang'ata to actually stop fence-sitting and witnessing the people of Mount Kenya region being led astray by William Ruto, and to come into play and reveal where their loyalty lies, which is something that Ndidi Nyoro and Irungu Kang'ata failed to do for the longest time possible, because the both of them have major cards to play come the year 2027. Allow me to remind you that these people have a very, very, very influential factor in the Mount Kenya region votes. Reason being, Irungu Kang'ata being the governor of Murang'a County, he is the top performing governor in the Republic of Kenya. Ndidi Nyoro being the member of parliament of Kiharu, he is the top performing member of parliament in the Republic of Kenya. So these two, having sitting aside and not involving themselves with Rigathi Gachagua, leaves Rigathi Gachagua, not protected by people who actually have a portfolio that can speak about work, a portfolio that can represent hard work, a portfolio that can represent the savior of a person that is sent to save the Mount Kenya region come the year 2027. Now, one thing that I have realized, and I have said it several times, Ndidi Nyoro, GATHONI WAMUCHOMVA, now allow me not first to speak about Ndidi Nyoro and Irungu Kang'ata and GATHONI, but there is also another coalition that was formed lately. And that coalition was called, is called the Kenya Moja Alliance or the That Force Alliance. This coalition has been led by GATHONI WAMUCHOMVA for some time right now. And the coalition consists of members of parliament from ODM party and GATHONI WAMUCHOMVA and some few other individuals. But one Honorable Babu Owino, on August 25th this year, Babu Owino made a certain confession that saw us think twice. And I want to reveal that confession to you so that you will understand the dynamics of the new party. According to Babu Owino, who had talks on, who said that he had ongoing talks with Ndidi Nyoro to join their alliance, the Kenya Moja Alliance. In an interview with Citizen TV, Babu Owino alongside Sabaoti MP Caleb Amisi gave insight into an emerging group of youthful and outspoken politicians who are currently moving under the Kenya Moja banner. Now, the movement, nicknamed the Third Force, comprises perceived political rebels from both the Orange Democratic Movement (ODM) and the United Democratic Alliance (UDA). One notable aspect about this Third Force is that its co-founders are all politicians who have been vocal against the Kenya Kwanza government, despite belonging to the very same parties that are in the Memorandum of Understanding, the MOU. Now, quoting Babu Owino, he said, "I have been speaking to Ndidi Nyoro and he will soon be part of this movement." Babu said, most importantly, Kenyans will be part of this movement. Now, the political movement initially began as a loose network of sections of leaders who were vocal against the government during the height of anti-government protests in June 2024 and June 2025. Central to their concerns is the growing frustration linked with being led by the political godfathers and a system which they claim is not serving Kenyans, particularly the younger generation. Now, during the interview, Amisi brought this dynamic to light by claiming this is a struggle of change between the old and the new. Asked whether he was rebelling against ODM, whose leader Raila Amolo Odinga largely helped further their political career like Babu Owino and Caleb Amisi, they dismissed the notion, insisting that he and his new allies were simply going with what was democratic. Now, allow me to tell you, this That Force Alliance, it is a force that I have severally said it is funded by the government. But how are they going to play the politics of making sure that the united opposition doesn't win the election come the year 2027? We know these people have been alleging something that we have tried to assume. I shall remind you that back in the year 2012, a force was born. That was between William Ruto and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. They came with the notion that sisi ni serikali ya vijana. Sisi tutakuja kutetea vijana. And that is how they ended up taking the government, beating Raila Amolo Odinga and Kalonzo Musyoka in 2013. But from there, they destroyed the country completely. Until now, we have never recovered. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta played his part. William Ruto came and completely ruined the Republic of Kenya. Now, these people, if they come with this notion and this party that has been formed, Ndidi Nyoro is going to join them. Irungu Kang'ata is going to join them. Now, this cocoon comprises of the most hardworking MPs, the members of parliament and governors that have been labeled as the most overworking people in the Republic of Kenya and in the current administration. Now, how will Kenyans not associate with these people who they have been saying that tunawahitaji watu kama hawa ambao ni wachapakazi? That is how the votes will be divided. They will bring forward Ndidi Nyoro as their preferred presidential candidate with the new party. The new party will fall under this umbrella called the Kenya Moja Coalition. Na hivyo ndivyo Gachagua na watu wake Mount Kenya watamalizwa. Kwa sababu, let me tell you, if Ndidi Nyoro is brought into the play, as he is going to be brought into the play, the votes of the Mount Kenya region will be cut 3 parts. 1 for Ndidi, 1 for Gachagua, and 1 for William Ruto. Are we together? And that is where we will lose the chance of redeeming this government forever. Another thing, I have said once and again, Ndidi Nyoro is playing the Kibaki factor, which was the Kibaki factor that Kibaki played in the elections of the year 1992. Tuko pamoja. Kibaki came into vying for the presidential seat in 1992, which he lost. But if he would have abstained, Matiba would have won the election. Kenneth Matiba would have become the president, beating Moi in the 1992 elections. But Kibaki, kwa sababu alikuwa amewekwa hapo as a project by Mzee Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi, he ruined the chances of Matiba ever becoming the president of the Republic of Kenya. Same thing that Ndidi Nyoro will do. In 2027, Ndidi Nyoro will run. He will not run to win. He will run to ruin the chances of the united opposition candidate winning and giving a chance to William Ruto to come to power in the year 2027. Now in 2032, Ndidi Nyoro will run again, this time being sure of the support of President William Ruto. Tuko pamoja. Ni siasa. Inaitwa karata chafu. Utaielewa. The monkey waters of politics are very, very versatile. Mtazamaji, ni hapa ndani ya Kenyan Daily Report tunakujuza na kukupasha juu ya mengi yanayojiri katika sehemu tofauti za taifa letu la Kenya, haswa katika uga wa siasa. Tuungane katika video zetu zijazo. Subscribe.